Hey, this is Matt. Once again, what you're about to see in the video is another paid request. This time for Jonathan. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for an episode of Supernatural, the pilot, Season 1, Episode 1, which is a show I've heard so much about. It went on for, what, 15 or so years, give or take? Quite a few seasons. It debuted around 2005 on the WB, and it follows the adventures of two brothers, Sam and Dean, the Winchester brothers, as they are on the road going from one supernatural shenanigan to the other, on a journey to find their daughter. Their father, completely different, played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And I would say, well, I mean, it didn't blow me away or anything. Because let's be honest, a lot of pilots, when you watch them, may not be the most... Pilots are usually not the best way to tell a show, weirdly enough. I mean, it's to give a first impression, and you hope it'll get better. But you watch a lot of shows, you watch their pilot, they're dipping their toe in to get wet and see how it is, and then when they get more comfortable, then they work out the little kinks here and there. They work out what they should and shouldn't do, what they can improve on. Do more with that, do less than that. So that's what happens with a lot of pilots. Like, I enjoy the pilot to the X-Files. But even I go to this little bit of here and there that, they'll improve on and get more comfortable in their roles. But as for a first impression, I could see the potential. Mainly because of Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, if I stop stuttering and get the names right. The way they worked as brothers, I thought they had a good chemistry with each other. I had seen them before in remakes. Jared Padalecki was a supporting role in the House of Wax remake, and he was the star of Friday the 13th in 2009. In the same year, Jensen Ackles did the My Bloody Valentine remake, also in 2009. So it was funny that they both got, competing remakes. And they have some good back and forth. They work well as brothers, where they give each other gruff, give each other shit. That didn't get some pretty fun bits of humor in there. The opening was effective, because it shows them as kids, and the Jeffrey D. Morgan, the dad, is sleeping on the sofa. The mom's checking on the baby and realizes there's an intruder. She gets pinned to the ceiling. And when Jeffrey D. Morgan comes in, he looks up and sees that his wife's pinned to the ceiling, and fucking fire comes out. And it's a pretty damn effective sequence. Like, I'm watching those special effects going, how the hell do they do that? Because it looks like just flames just erupt from under her. Like, she's on the ceiling, and flames just spread out under her. And they look real, like real fire. And then I think at one point they put like a dummy, but it was pretty effective. Like, for a TV show, it was a pretty decent sequence. So kudos to the effects guys for that. So Jeffrey D. Morgan saves his kids. It's many years later. Jared Padalecki is going to college. Got a girlfriend. His brother Jensen Ackles arrives and says, hey, our dad's missing. Well, I got this college stuff. Well, fine, I'll search for him, but I gotta come back to this point, because I need to move on with my life from all this stuff. I want to be, law graduate, all this job interview. Fine. And they go on, as we see this case of this hitchhiker ghost. This lady that you found out drowned her kids, ended her life, and now she will get people to pick her up. She'll say, I can't go home. She can control their cars and ultimately kill them. Now, we see nothing too graphic or gory, nothing too crazy in terms of visuals of that sort. I mean, this is coming from a guy that saw a lot of X-Files, and there's a lot more crazy shit I saw in the X-Files compared to this. Maybe, again, it's just the pilot, and there's a lot more crazy shit you see throughout the show. pretty much at one point there's a guy streaming and pulled back, and you see blood hit the windshield. You know, which again is tame compared to a lot of the shit I've seen on X Files. But yeah, it's just the pilot. I mean, the fact that this is this ghost and it's a lady in white, I don't know if that was the best bit for a pilot because it just seems a bit, I don't want to say corny, but just a lady in white who's a ghost. It just seems very generic for a monster of the week villain, how you want to put it. But, you know, I wouldn't say I was big on that. What really kept me interested was the brothers and the way they interact with each other, where they're arguing about music, and Jared's like, Jared Padalecki is Sam, and Jensen Ackles is Dean. So Sam's arguing the Dean, you know, why do you have these 8-track tapes? I mean, the fact they're 8-track tapes, and you have people like Metallica and all this stuff. But they did make a mistake, and I don't know how the fuck they made this mistake. It annoyed the piss out of me. Jensen Ackles' character, he gets a Metallica tape, and he puts it in, but the music that plays is AC/DC, Back in Black. How the fuck do you get that mixed up? Where you take a Metallica tape, you put it in, but it's AC/DC music. If that's the case, then just change it to an AC/DC cassette. I don't remember if Sam mentions one of the tapes was AC/DC. He mentions Metallica and a few other names. But Dean takes the tape that Metallica says Metallica. Hey, the guy who drives picks the music. Puts in, and I love Back in Black and AC/DC. You also have Highway to Hell later. Whenever you have AC/DC, it's a good time for me because it's my favorite band, without a doubt. My favorite band is AC/DC. I fucking love AC/DC to death. So when you have it, already 2 thumbs up for me, usually. And Back in Black and Highway to Hell, both songs I enjoy. It's just, it's a really big fuck up. And it just annoys me. Putting Metallica tape AC, I mean, that's just something I noticed. But when I was talking about their interactions, like for example, they go to the crime scene and Dean has a fake ID, like he's a federal marshal, and Sam has to play along. So Dean's like talking shit to the cops, and Sam steps on his foot, and as they walk away, Dean punches him in the shoulder. Why you step on my foot? Why you giving him a hard time? Or 2 agents go by, and I think Dean says, "Gentlemen, Mulder, Agent Scully." So they do reference X-Files. Action-wise, I mean, there's not a whole lot of action. There's a bit where their car gets possessed and they're chased on a bridge. There's a bit later on where Dean has to attack the ghost with a gun just to distract it to get away from his brother, and Sam then has to drive a car into this house where the ghost lives. So it's not like a huge action sequences or anything, but like I said, I can see why people would be appealed to the show because of the 2 leads. Like after the car gets possessed and they get out of the way, I think his Dean goes, "That Constance chick, what a bitch!" Because he loves his car and is fucking with his car. Again, the way they interact. Hey, I'm sorry, man. No, listen, no chit flick moments, okay? Jerk, bitch. Yeah, the way they interact and fight with each other as brothers, that is, I think, what sold the show. It wasn't the mystery, it wasn't the ghost angle. Because again, the lady in white just seems a bit generic. It's cool to have Steve Rails back in there, who was in an X-Files episode, actually a 2-part called Dwayne Barry. He was in Life Force. He was in this film I like called Blue Monkeys. You know, Steve Rails back, very good actor. he's here as the dead woman's husband, where Sam just a bit of info about him. But as I said, I just see why the show would take off with the premise: these two brothers who have good chemistry, some fun back and forth with each other, giving each other shit, as a lot of brothers do with each other. And because it's a road trip, you could go through all these supernatural stuff, and you're not stuck in one town, you're not stuck in one state. You go everywhere, and so it's a lot more freeing in terms of, same with the X Files, because they're FBI agents. That means they go anywhere around the country. They're on a case, and so you that way you don't limit yourself in what you can and can't do. Oh, it happens to everything just happens to take place in this one town. How strange. Oh no, everything. I do like their monster hunters as well. Because as much as I love the X Files, at times I could get a bit annoying that, this case remains open and they didn't solve this, or this monster didn't get killed, and so it's like, oh, they failed, or nothing happened, or nothing they did really mattered because they were just flies on the wall to witness this. Again, as much as I love the X Files, that they did irritate from time to time. Here it seemed much more, we're going to defeat and destroy or stop the curse or what have you. So, spoiler alerts. Sam's in the car again. The ghost is in the backseat, possesses a car, tries to kill him. Dean saves him. Sam drives the car into the house. Like, you want to go home? There's your damn home. He doesn't say that, but I kind of wish he did. And in doing so, the reason she said she couldn't go home is because the ghost of her kids there, who she killed, and they take her spirit. Now, this was a bad effect, so I don't know if they spent all their money on the effect at the beginning, and technically at the end as well, because this effect of she's being dragged down into the floor looked really bad, looked like really shitty effects. I would say if anything dates the film, if anything dates the episode, it's that really terrible effect. But I do wish, like you said, it was a bit more of a unique villain or ghost or supernatural shenanigan, hence the title. Maybe a little bit more uniqueness to it, or a little bit more violent, crazy, scary. I never felt it was that scary. Like I said, the bit that was most impressive was the beginning and end. Because another spoiler is Jared Padalecki gets back, and his girlfriend dies in the same way their mother died, and that's why Jared decides to go with Jensen Ackles, and Sam and Dean decide to go on this journey on the road. They'll look for their father and go through all these supernatural cases that they don't want to stop or help or so forth. Like I said, I could see people would go on the show to see these two interact, and the acting was fairly good, and Jensen Ackles surprised me. Because in the My Bloody Valentine remake, he's a bit more dry, he's a bit more serious. But here I can see a lot more of his wise-ass quality, which definitely fits him better as an actor. It gives a bit more personality. Yeah, they kind of describe it as Jared Padalecki is more of the wide-eyed, I don't know, more innocent, but people describe him as Luke Skywalker and Jensen Ackles as Han Solo. Or Jensen Ackles more of the gruff, wise ass. He's a bit used to this more, while Jared is getting a bit more into it, understanding a bit more. I can see that comparison. I can understand it. And, like I said, you have AC/DC in there. That's always nice. Steve Rosebach, another nice bit. Two leads worked very well. I can see, based on them, that's why the show became popular. Definitely the whole bit at the very beginning, very end definitely gives a bit of intrigue as to what's going on and why did this happen and why did it choose them and was this thing that follows, because if it happened to the mom, then it happened to this guy's girlfriend. There's definitely something following them and what the whole deal with that is. Like I said, I do wish there was a bit more either action or a bit more excitement. Again, the choice of supernatural figures, like, okay. Or maybe a bit more violent, a bit more visceral. I guess as much as you can in WB. But you know, like even Fox, like you see some of the stuff Fox was able to push with that. But yeah, overall I liked it. Overall I had fun with it. So, not too shabby at all. Except, you know, that again, how the fuck, again, you have Metallica tape, play Metallica. If you don't play AC/DC, just say it's an AC/DC tape. I mean, there's even on a sticker on the side that says Metallica, but it plays AC/DC music. Come on. I don't know why I sound like Van Damme there. Come on, come on. But with that said, I had fun with it. So thanks, Jonathan. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.